Hello guys, today we will deal with the example of DC analysis of MOSFET and more third example numericals on complex potential divider bias network. As usual, we do have in potential divider bias R1, R2, RD, RS, that's it. Upper part is connected to VDD, lower part is connected to ground. But that is not the always case, right? But sometimes they will give you the complex circuit where you will have to have some knowledge about the first year engineering, that is BW. Okay, so we will take particular example. This is the example where the DMOSFET, N-channel DMOSFET is used. Suppose in Mumbai University, they may give you this particular value and they will not give you the direction on this particular figure. Then how to identify which enhancement, whether it is of N-channel MOSFET or P-channel MOSFET of DMOSFET. This is DMOSFET, as this figure itself tells you that it is DMOSFET. Okay, but the direction, if it is not given, then you just have to look at these particular values which is given. So IDSS is 10 milliampere and VP is negative. If VP is negative, it obviously N-channel MOSFET. So there is no question about the absence of data, right? So you just have to draw this arrow of your own, understanding the fact that VP is equal to minus 5 volt, that is negative. So it's obvious that it's nothing but your N-channel depletion type of MOSFET. Coming to the particular part of the circuit, that is your voltage divider bias network only, but this particular resistance is coming into picture having the DC voltage of 5 volt and this resistance R1 having DC voltage of 10 volt. So suppose I am taking the value of VTH, there is a confusion whether we'll have to take 5 volt or we'll have to take 10 volt. Here we have to apply the superposition theorem. Okay, so let us try to figure out the first step, how we can solve the first step using the superposition theorem. So let's try to figure out. Obviously your question will be find Q point of circuit. Very simple questions, straightforward questions. You just have to follow the steps, but in step number 1 you may get stuck. Okay, so this is how you will proceed further. Okay, so in step number 1, here we will find Thevenin's equivalent circuit. I know that this is the complex circuit I have, having the value 2.2 mega, 22 mega. Okay, this is plus 10 volts, this is plus 5 volts, and this is connected to the ground. We just want to find out what will be the value of VTH. That is the first step, right? So we will say that if I want to find out the value of VTH, first of all we will apply superposition theorem in a very simple sense. Otherwise you can have mesh analysis, you can solve using nodal analysis, right? You can apply KCL over here, n number of ways that we can use, and we'll find out the value of VTH. Okay, so but here I will apply the superposition theorem, which is lengthy, but still we will use it. Okay, so we will say using, okay, VTH1 plus VTH2 is equal to VTH, right? Whereas this VTH is nothing but VTH with 5 volt active. Okay, VTH2 is nothing but VTH using 10 volts active. Okay, so let's first of all find out the value of VTH1, then proceed further for VTH2, and then add them, we'll get the value of VTH. Okay, so let's try to get it. First of all, A part is VTH1, where 5 volt is active and all the other sources we have to replace it by their respective internal resistances as far as superposition theorem is concerned. Okay, so we will say that voltage source having 0 internal resistance ideally, so we can say that 10 volt is getting shorted, connected to ground. So we will say that 10 volt is short circuited. We can say obviously if this is grounded, that is R1 is connected to 10 volt which is grounded, then here 5 volt is applied. Okay, this is 1 mega, so mega is 22 mega R1, and here it's 2.2 mega. Here it is VTH. Now we can easily say that this can be converted into this parallel combination and series with 1 mega. So it's a very simple to understand that this is nothing but 22 mega in parallel with 2.2 mega. Okay, and this is 1 mega. We just want this particular value, that is VTH1. Okay, this value is 5 volt. So we'll just apply VDR. We'll say apply VDR, right? So we will say that this VTH1. Okay, so now let's just apply VDR. Okay, so VTH1 will become this resistance divided by summation of these two resistances. So I can say that 22 mega in parallel with 2.2 mega. Okay, so let's try to figure out what will be the value. Calculate the value, pause the screen and come to me. So it comes out to be 3.33 volts. So we have got VTH1 is equal to 3.33 volts. Okay, let's try to get what will be the value of VTH2. Okay, so B part is VTH2. In VTH2 we will say 10 volt is active and 5 volt is converted to short circuit. Okay, so we will say that this 22 mega is connected to plus 10 volt, this 2.2 mega and 1 mega now in parallel, because 1 mega is connected to plus 5 volt which is short circuited, connected to ground, and 2.2 already connected to ground. So this two becomes in parallel, and I want to find out value of VTH2. So we'll directly apply VDR. We'll say apply VDR. We can also say that 1 mega parallel with 2.2 mega, right, divided by 22 plus 2.2 mega parallel with 1 mega. Okay, so here it is VTH2 is equal to 2.2 mega in parallel with 1 mega, 2.2 mega in parallel with 1 mega plus 22 mega multiplied by 10. Okay, try to figure out what will be the value of VTH2. This is how you will be getting 6875 mega divided by 0.6875 mega plus 22 mega, and the answer is you will be getting 0.303. So VTH2 will become 0.303. So whatever value you have got, that is VTH2, we want to find out VTH, right, and that is equal to VTH1 plus VTH2. Agreed? Yes. So let's try to find out what will be the value of this. Will be 0.303 and your previous value is 3.33. Okay, so we just add these two values and try to get what will be the value of VTH. 3.633. So this is the value of VTH that we are expecting after conversion into Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Okay, so RTH, how to find out total RTH? As we know that RTH calculation is simple as compared to VTH, because all the voltage sources getting replaced by their respective internal resistances, and I will say that 10 volt and 5 volt is getting shorted. That means all three resistances becomes in parallel combination. So I can say that RTH becomes 2.2 mega in parallel with 1 mega in parallel with 22 mega. So we will calculate this value. Pause the screen, calculate this value of RTH and come to me. This is the value. Yes? Good. So far we have got the value of VTH and RTH. VTH is equal to 3.633 and RTH is equal to 0.667 mega ohm. Okay. So proceed further for step number 1. Okay. So now my simplified circuit will be make sure that whatever value they have given as plus 15 volts for drain and minus 5 volt for source, but at the gate side whatever we have got the voltages that are not exactly attached with the source for R2 and drain for R1, that is totally different. So you just have to take this particular voltage, not 10 volt and 5 volt. 10 volt, 5 volt all we have replaced with the Thevenin's equivalent circuit now. Okay, so we will do this over here plus 15 volts. Here it is not connected to ground. Make sure that it is minus 5 volt as given in this equation, and this is 470 ohm which is given. This is 1 kilo ohm. Whatever value we have got at the RTH, that is nothing but your RG, which is 0.667 mega ohm. Okay, value of VTH is nothing but that value of VTH we have got 3.633 volts. Okay, now we will proceed further for actual step number 2, right? So step number 2 is KVL to input side. Whenever we are dealing with the KVL to input side, don't forget to write minus 5 volt into your equation. Okay, so let's proceed further for the equation. So this is your VTH. We will write first complete equation and then we'll get to know that how we'll get the value relation between VGS and ID. Okay, so here we will write 3.633 because it is positive, this is negative. Then further minus RG into IG because here we have to know that this Ig is equal to 0, so Ig Rg becomes 0. So minus VGS minus Id into Rs. Don't forget to write this minus of minus minus. So this will be your minus 5 volt is equal to 0. Okay. So proceed further to calculate 5 volt minus 3.633 minus VGS minus IDRS is equal to 0. So this will become, we will be getting here VGS is equal to 1.367 minus IDRS. RS is equal to, here I will write that value of RS 470 ohm. Okay, so this is equation number 1 I will be getting. Then we will proceed further for the equation of the current, right? So current equation of DMOS. I know that current equation of DMOS is ID is equal to IDSS into 1 minus VGS divided by VP the whole square. We'll just put the value of VP and IDSS, which is given 10 milliampere and minus 5 volts. Okay, ID is the parameter which we want to calculate. IDSS 10 milli will write, and here we will be getting 1 minus VGS, that the complete equation number 1 will have to write. This is equation number 2. So 1 minus, this will become 1.367 minus ID into, here we will write 0.47K divide by minus 5 the whole square. Okay, try to simplify this particular equation and try to find out the value of the roots of the quadratic equation formed with the variable ID. Okay, just pause the screen, try to solve this particular equation and try to figure out what will be the value of ID1 and ID2. Okay, So here we will be getting the two values of ID. Okay, ID1 is equal to 32.8 milliampere, which is very high, and second one is 5.59 milliampere. Obviously we will choose this one, we'll discard this one because ID should be less than IDSS. Okay, so let's proceed further to calculate the value of VGS. We know that the value of VGS is equal to 1.367 minus ID into 470. Okay, from equation number 1. Okay, so just calculate the value. Whatever value you will be getting, we will treat this as Q parameter for VGS, right? Minus 1.26, that will be the value of VGS. So whatever value you have got, that is nothing but the Q parameter. So VGSQ is minus 1.26 volts. First Q point we have got, that is nothing but VGSQ and IDQ, that is equal to minus 1.26 volts, comma 5.59 milliampere. Okay, second Q point that we have to find out with step number 3. Okay, in the step number 3, what we'll have to do, we'll use another slide. So step number 3, in step number 3 we will just apply KVL to output. Okay, when we will deal with KVL to output, we obviously have to consider the VD and VS. Okay, we are not dealing with the input right now, we just deal with the output KVL. Okay, so this is the value of RD is 1 kilo, this is 470 ohm, and this is connected to minus 5 volt main well. This is 15 volts, right? So let's proceed further. How do we get the value of KV, right? I know that I will start from VDD minus IDRD minus VDS minus IDRS is equal to 0. No, we have to consider this minus 5 volt as well. So we will say minus of minus 5 volt is equal to 0, right? So this VDD is of 15 volts. So let's see, 15 minus ID value is 5.59 milli. RD value is 1K. Okay, minus VDS minus VDS is not known to me. ID is 5.59 again milli. This is 470 ohm, and this is plus 5 is equal to 0. So ultimately we will be getting the value of VDS. Pause the screen, calculate the value of VDS and come to me. So we will be getting the value 11.78 volts. Okay, that will be considered as VDQ, right? VDSQ. So another Q parameter we have got for output characteristics, that is VDSQ and IDQ, that is equivalent with the value 11.78. Now here we have got the positive value. Okay, so I can say that it can work as an amplifier, right? So 5.59 milliampere. Okay, so this is how we have completed with the complex part of potential divider bias DC analysis. Furthermore, we'll learn more and more DC analysis with enhancement type of MOSFET as well. So stay tuned and learn more and more EDC from Ekeeda videos. Thank you so much.